Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Pleasure Points podcast. I'm your host, James Rohr. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Coronatime edition. We're kicking off quarantine time with a podcast. I'm joined today by the one and only Jennifer Panza. We're talking cohabitation. We're talking van life. We're talking essential oils to stay healthy. So lots of good information here. I do insult my cat at some point during the episode. Please know that it's all in good fun. I love my cat. He's amazing. Jenn's TikTok is El Gato Libre. So you can check that out if you're not on TikTok. If you're an adult, if you're like over 30 and you find yourself working from home or just being at home and you're really bored, don't be ashamed to join TikTok. Jenn and I are on there. There's a whole bunch of over 30 people that are there, and it's quite entertaining. I'm making my push for TikTok. Not sponsored, but it's fun. Unlike other social medias, TikTok is like incredibly addictive, but it's like we find ourselves laughing a lot more than I ever did on Instagram. So without further ado, thanks for being here and enjoy the show. All right, here we are. It took a global pandemic to get our guest back on the show, but I'm so happy that she decided to make the time to join us here once again on the Pleasure Points podcast. Without further ado, allow me to introduce today's guest. She is a TikTok influencer. She's a doTERRA wellness advocate, and she's also my wife. My wife. Jennifer Panza, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, James.
Or should we call you Jennifer Rohr? Are you going to ever change your name?
I mean, I'm like half and half right now.
Are we like half married?
No, we're fully married. I just half go by your name and half by my name. I'm like baby steps, you know?
Understood. In these uncertain times, it's good to cling to things that are familiar.
Yeah, like your identity.
It's just changing your name. It's not changing who you are.
Sort of. You've obviously never changed your name before, Mr. Panza.
I put that on the table, but your dad's name is Jim, so that might be kind of weird for you.
Yeah, it got real weird for me real fast once that was on the table.
We were at a convention, and so Jenn took care of all the reservations for it. And so we pull in and the valet is like, yeah, what's your name? And I knew that like her name was on the reservation, and I was like, oh, it's Panza. And he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, what's your first name? I was like, Jim. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, okay, Mr. Panza, it's welcome baback to the hotel here.
And every time we came back, he would say that, and every time I would just cringe because I was like, oh my God, that's my dad's name. This is so weird. It's not okay. It has a different effect. I'm not into it.
Awesome.
Well, I'm happy you had me back on the podcast. It is convenient that no one else is going to come to our house to record one. So you guys might have me appearing on the podcast quite a bit this week, as I might be the most convenient guest.
A lot of uncertain times. I had an outline of an entire podcast that I was going to do that was talking about kind of cohabitating, but it was going to be just like me talking since you were too busy to come on the podcast and you made it clear that you don't listen to the show anymore. So I was going to just like start airing some grievances and not even grievances, but observations with the people. But now that you're here, we should probably talk about other things.
Oh, well, I think that might be a great next episode. If you have some grievances to air, and we aren't going to be going out of the house much in the next couple weeks, possibly.
Yeah, we can do like a cohabitating coronavirus edition.
Yeah, cohabitation without getting out edition. So
we're in the middle of uncertain times right now. This is recorded on Saturday, March 14th is when we're sitting down here. So things are changing by really the minute or the hour with coronavirus and all of the things. And so we went out to Arizona last week for what was supposed to be a doTERRA leadership conference. And when we landed, it was canceled. And so we were left to enjoy the time with our team. But one of the things that we did was really spearheaded by you where you thought that this would be a great time for us to reopen the conversation about getting a van.
Ooh, I thought you were going to go into TikTok and how I was like, reopen the conversation about why it's a great time to learn how to dance in front of your phone. But you know what I was thinking is that you can learn how to dance on your phone in the van or in a really cool outdoor location. That's right where my head went. I was like, you know what? If coronavirus is coming, the first thing I'm going to do is get really good at dancing so that I could be TikTok famous. And the second thing I'm going to do is make sure that we have a bug out vehicle and a gun just in case stuff gets weird. That was my initial knee-jerk instinct.
Yeah, so we decided to drive back to the RV dealership to check it out because it's like super close and where we were staying in Scottsdale to the dealership. And as we're driving there, all of a sudden Jen says, "So after we get the RV, I think we should go to a gun store and buy a gun."
And that's when you know, folks, when things start to get weird, where you lie in the spectrum. You know, like I went full redneck. That's just what happened. As soon as things started getting weird, I was like, you know what, baby, I think we need an RV and a gun. I was like, I don't know if I'm proud to say it, but it is true that that has crossed my mind multiple times. But
like we haven't even had conversations about being gun owners. Like all I knew is that you dated a boyfriend who had like guns and was like into guns. But that's like the extent of it. Like we haven't had many conversations about it. We don't talk about like if we're pro or against gun rights or like how we even feel about having one in the house. And you just like, you said it with such certainty that I was like, maybe we should get a gun.
Well, you know, I think given that we live in Florida, it may be different if we lived in a different area of the country. Like if we were in Colorado, I don't know if I would feel the same way, but I feel like in Florida, it was just, you read the news and you Google that Florida man, whatever, does whatever. It's just a real interesting mix of people here. I mean, every comedian makes fun of Florida. Every, news station makes fun of all the crazy people. We had a man eat someone's face off.
Yeah,
like
true
just,
story.
And that was like a regular time, not even a coronavirus heightened time.
Just an average Wednesday.
It was like an average, yeah. It was just like, hey, I'm cruising down the highway. Let me do meth and eat this guy's face off. And oh, there's an alligator. It's like those are two examples right there of why, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily in general pro-gun, but it is interesting how in these times of like uncertainty, how the instinct is to create a form of protection. And, whether a gun is a true sense of protection or is just something that makes you feel better is up for debate. But it's interesting how the knee-jerk reaction is to go into that more panicked state or like fatalistic kind of apocalyptic thought process of like, what if?
Well, but it was also very aside from coronavirus, a very practical thing about like, if we were to have an RV and like an off-road adventure vehicle, and if we were to park in like a remote place and someone stumbles upon your truck at an, unseemly hour.
Yeah, or a bear. People get attacked by bears.
Right.
Anything is possible. I think the biggest thing from all of this is it's an interesting thing to watch your mind and to observe where the mind takes you. If it instantly jumps into a place of fear and panic, or if you can stay calm and cool. And I think that's what we're trying to do over here. And, we're doing lots of oils and hanging out. We don't seem to be too panicked. I'm kind of worried that we should be more panicked, actually. That's what they want you to believe.
Well, we did make it back. We got back from Arizona last night. We changed our flight to get back here a little earlier. And then we ventured into Costco today, where sure enough, like there was no toilet paper. There was like a long line for water. Like, I don't understand that either. Like the water is not contaminated. Everything is fine. I
think it's more people here, especially, I don't know about other places, what sort of excuse they have, but I think that people here, when they go into like hurricane protection mode, they have like their protocol. Like they have their like emergency plan, and then they just activate the emergency plan. And always the hurricanes, of course, is a big thing, as water is the number one thing.
Right.
So I think people are just like, oh, a coronavirus is like a hurricane. I'm going to get water. but not in a not in a Southern accent. I apologize for whoever listens to this that has a Southern accent because it has nothing to do with you, really.
You're killing my my south of the Mason-Dixon line demographic right now.
It's more like in Miami, like, sí, pero we need water. I don't know. Well, maybe people just, I guess they drink bottled water normally, so they wouldn't want to, if they can't leave the house, then they couldn't get more water because they would have to drink tap water.
I feel so sorry for those people.
So public service announcement, if you're listening to this and you happen to be a person that drinks bottled water, what we recommend is that you get the Berkey water filter. It's super easy to order online. You can get it to your house and you can have lots of really amazing filtered fresh water at a very reasonable price. It's only $300 and you could keep having fresh water forever and you don't have to pollute the environment with all the plastic bottles.
Did they just pay you to come on here?
No, but I'm going to reach out to them now that I've did this because we should have a partnership with Berkey. We love their water filters.
Berkeys are great. I know a lot of listeners here have Berkeys too because I've talked about it before and they've written in. Berkeys are fantastic. We have the extra fluoride filter too, so the water is like super super pure. It's actually one of the things that there's like there's two things that I like get really excited about coming home to. Neither one of which is the cat. Oh, I'm sorry, Siegfried. The first one is the Tushy. So hello, Tushy, if you're out there, I'm still repping your stuff. It was amazing to see the run of toilet paper that people had during this thing and to be like, we have the Tushy. We've got like a built-in bidet. We don't need a lot of toilet paper. We're good.
Ironically, we did actually run out of toilet paper. We have like 3 rolls left.
Because we didn't get it before the trip. We're just like, whatever, it's fine. It never occurred to me that the coronavirus would lead to this run on toilet paper. And the second one is the Berkey, because the water just tastes so good out of the Berkey.
And the cool thing is if we had a van, we could put the Tushy in the van. I don't know if it would hook up to that. We have to do some research on how to activate the Tushy.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, we could talk to an engineer.
Yeah, but the water, whatever.
Audra's future fiance is a master plumber. I'm sure he could figure out a way to rig that Tushy up to the freshwater tank in the shower in the bathroom of the adventure van. So you get the Tushy in the van, and then you get the Berkey filter, and we strap that bad boy down, load it up with some food from Costco, got the gun, glove box, the lock box. I mean,
and then what? You're gonna ride on the roof? Where there's not gonna be much.
We're
room
gonna load
inside.
the cat in the back. Siegfried's in the back. He's gonna have his sombrero and his avocado bandana on. He's ready for adventure, and sounds like a great life. I'm into it.
The kind of clarity that comes from the coronavirus.
What it is, you know what it is, guys. This is the truth. I'm afraid of being trapped in the house. I don't like being trapped places. So the adventure van what it is it gives the illusion of freedom. So I'm into that. I'm into the illusion of freedom and I'm into the illusion of safety. Awkward silence. Anybody else out there? Nope. Just me. All right, cool. So let's talk about essential oils that are good for immune boosting.
I just wanted to let you hang out there for a little bit.
That's the worst. You know what my friends in high school called that? They called it the burn. I think that they invented it because of the random stories and awkward rants that I would do. And then they would just do that. It would just be like a nice awkward silence where nobody laughs, reacts, sympathizes, gives you any sort of commiseration. Nothing. They just stonewall you.
I used to say like, good story, Jen. But then I was told that was just not very nice.
Yeah, now you just burn me. It's even worse. You're just like, watch her simmer. Watch her melt. She's melting. It's hilarious. Ha!
So you want to enlighten us now on, should we like give actual practical advice? Because not everyone's interested in living in a van.
No, my feelings are still hurt now. Nobody else wants to be trapped.
Isn't there an oil for that?
Oh, I already slathered adaptive all over me before this whole podcast.
Because you're afraid of being trapped in a recording?
No, but I did come in this room and I was feeling oddly relaxed and tired because this is where we keep all the oils, and we just walked on the beach and I was like, you know what? Now might be a great time to just take a little nap. But, we got to pull through for the people. People are sitting at home. Maybe they wanted something to listen to, entertainment. Certainly hearing me and all of my fears aired out is worth listening to as your number one podcast guest.
All right, so let's actually talk about the oils a little bit, because this has been a big part of the confidence and the peace of mind that we've had in the midst of, this people kind of freaking out a little bit.
That's true. We have not been worried about contracting the virus or any one of our loved ones, which is really nice to actually feel empowered. I think that one of the things that strikes me as we're connecting with people is that sense of fear and panic and that desire to protect with a virus and these different things. It's really tricky because people feel really disempowered because they don't really feel like there's anything you can do. I mean, aside from washing your hands and freaking out and trying to buy toilet paper. I mean, I feel like the toilet paper buying is actually a symptom of the fact that people can't control this thing. And they can't, they're just like, have a clean bundle. I can't control anything else, so I will control how much toilet paper I have, It's like, it's all about the control, right? So it's interesting when people don't have tools that what the instinct is. So
to just wipe my ass. As much as I need to.
No, I think it's just that they want to buy it. They want to do something proactive, Like right. I have some even oils customers who are texting me. They're like, "Should I buy Pine Sol? Should I Pine Sol my whole house?" I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you don't need to do that. Aside from the fact that when you do something, you feel like you are more proactive and you're therefore more in control of the situation that you have no control over. So, what I would say to that is, what's interesting about essential oils and the research that we've seen so far is that the way that the essential oils work on a antiviral and an antibacterial level is very interesting because they can actually penetrate through the cell wall where viruses live on the inside of the cell and actually help to stop those cells that are infected, if you will, from replicating and the virus from replicating.
Because most pharmaceuticals are water soluble, they're water based, and the protection around the cell is oils. The cells have an oil or a lipid layer that surrounds the cells, and so water and oil obviously don't mix. So the water based medications have a hard time penetrating the cells. So the beauty of using the plants and the natural medicine of the essential oils is that the oil can permeate, it can go past the lipid layer of the cell to actually affect what's going on inside of the cell. Right? So
yeah, 1,000%. And this is extremely effective, not only for, just cleaning your house, right? So there's basically like 3 ways that we're using oils right now in our house and within our, daily lives. And we've been flying in the airports and we've been in more publicly exposed places, and how we're still healthy from all of that is by using the oils in 3 ways. So we've been diffusing at night. Every single night we're doing our On Guard mixed, which On Guard basically, for those of you who don't know, is a mixture of very powerful immune boosting essential oils, which is clove, wild orange, cinnamon, rosemary, eucalyptus. And that combination. We diffuse that in addition with lemon. And we've also been diffusing rosemary too, which I really like in that mix. And that's been really nice before going to bed or just around the house as we've been hanging out with people, just to allow any germs that are in the air to be basically destroyed before they get into our bodies. And it smells amazing, which helps to boost our mood, which is important in times like this. Although our crew doesn't really have an issue with their mood boost. We were all in very high spirits. But for those of you out there who have someone that's worried, right, and that feels under stress, this is a great way to use essential oils. The other way we're using them is topically. So, before and after we flew the other day, we actually did the infectious disease protocol along the spine. So this has really powerful immune boosting oils like black pepper, thyme, oregano, frankincense, melissa, On Guard, aroma touch. And those are rubbed along the spine with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil. And that has a really powerful way of seeping into the bloodstream and really preventing and supporting the body's immune system on the deepest of level. So we did that. And then we've also been taking On Guard soft gels, which is basically a similar combination of oils. So it's clove, black pepper, melissa, oregano, and On Guard, which is of course a mix of that wild orange, rosemary, and eucalyptus, a little tiny bit, and black pepper. Did I already say that? And that we've been taking internally a couple times in addition to DDR Prime. So DDR Prime is actually our favorite immune boosting product. I've had a lot of people messaging me because some people haven't been able to get the On Guard soft gels and the hand sanitizer since it's been like 3,000% increase in sales volume that doTERRA is trying to keep up with production on that. But the DDR Prime is actually one of the most powerful essential oils for immune boosting, but people don't typically think of that. But it is specifically designed for degenerative diseases and for supporting all of the oils inside of it have very powerful antiviral properties. So that's a great one to take internally too. So as we know, our gut, our immune system is where our gut is the main place for our immune system. So the best thing we can do right now, in my opinion, is to truly try to stay healthy and by taking care of our immune system. So that means, eating healthy. We were at Costco today and it could have been fun to buy like 10,000 bags of Doritos and like whatever, soda and whatever else. But we are committed to living a healthy lifestyle and keeping our immune system strong. So we chose as many organic and fresh fruits as possible and tried to minimize the things that come out of a box when we are shopping, and to make sure we're taking our vitamins and really staying on top of our health so that we can stay strong. Because even if you do contract something, if you're healthy, right, and you are taking care of yourself and you're using essential oils, then the chances that can get passed on or that you would actually get sick are a lot less. So the idea is to just stay healthy out there and take care of yourself and don't touch anyone, and we'll all be good.
Yeah. And so, especially if it does turn into a kind of a lockdown situation, being able to modulate your mood internally is going to be like really helpful, right? To combat any kind of the stress or like you talked about being cooped up, the financial tension that might be happening with the stock markets and employment and all that stuff. So, coming back to managing stress levels is going to be huge, both with keeping your immune system strong. Because we know that when people are under stress, their immune system tends to be compromised. So the oils are tremendous for that. In addition, you didn't talk about Breathe, which is huge, right? It's a respiratory issue. That's the big concern with coronavirus. So the Breathe Essential Oil Blend is awesome to help open the airways and strengthen the lungs and make it easier for the respiratory system to work well. And of course, like a deep breathing and a meditation practice is going to go a long, long way. This is an opportunity, I think, for us to kind of like regroup, to come back home, to come back, to check in with yourself and to be with you and your loved ones, and to really kind of like decide consciously what you want the next week or 2 weeks or however long this thing goes on. What is it that you want that to look like? And do you want to just be at the mercy of everything else that's happening around you? Or do you want to generate your own mood, generate your own opportunities? And this could be a great opportunity to create some new family traditions or new opportunities. It's like, how do you want to look at it? Do you want to be in a state of stress, or do you want to be in a state of bringing a good mood and being kind with one another? I think Jen just fell asleep.
It's possible. I just got so relaxed.
Dude.
The adaptive is really kicking in.
I've never had a guest who literally you just fell asleep with your eyes open. Are you okay?
No, I am okay. I do have to say, no, I'm definitely not. I'm not sick. Don't say that on the podcast. That's like so faux pas. Your voice is really relaxing. I do have to say, when you go away and you visit Wyatt, I do sometimes put on the podcast, not really to listen to what you say, because I hear you talk all the time, but just to hear your voice, because it is so relaxing.
Oh my God. This is what I'm dealing with. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I think it's great for people to focus on their mood stuff. I mean, I do. I just agree with you.
Were you the kid in college who would fall asleep in class and then you'd wake up and you'd just you'd hear the last thing that the teacher said and you'd be like, yeah, that thing was really powerful.
Yeah. All the time. I used to fall asleep in astronomy. The astronomy was the worst class. I always used to fall asleep in that class because they would get dark so that they could show you the stars and stuff. Oh my God, are you kidding me? That was the worst. I think I slept through that entire semester. I don't think I stayed awake for maybe 2 classes total in the entire semester.
The irony of that is that now you don't get sleep because you're staying up watching Ancient Aliens and alien portals and stuff.
Oh, if they would have been talking about alien portals in astronomy class when I was in school, I would have definitely not fallen asleep. That would have been way more interesting. Even in college, I would have been interested in that.
Do
But
you think coronavirus came from aliens?
definitely not. I think it came from a man-made facility in China.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a total conspiracy theorist at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like in line with the conspiracy theory and with buy a gun in an RV.
Yeah, we'll have to see who profits from all this stuff.
Except for I'm just going to do yoga on our patio and sit in our nice apartment in South Florida. But in my heart, I resonate with those people. Not enough to actually do anything, but that's how I feel.
Awesome. So stay safe out there, everybody. If you need help, this is what Jennifer and I do. We're here to support you with natural solutions, and no need to suffer. There's usually a natural alternative that can help you thrive, even in the face of uncertainty. So thank you, Jen, for popping on here. And I imagine you'll probably be on again before this quarantine is over.
I can't wait to come back on.
Awesome. And your Instagram is?
So it's just my name, Jennifer Panza. But underneath it says Jennifer Rohr. So that may be confusing for some of you guys because this is what I'm saying. I'm like half and half. So it's Jennifer Panza, Pansa. And you can reach out to me directly.
All right, everybody. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. And we'll catch you next time.